Hello techies. Welcome to our brand new video series focused on helping you get the most of your experiences in life. Before we start the video, let's know about Upptalk. Upptalk is a live, interactive platform for software training, furnishing robust personalities who could take on universal business platforms.
Again, if somebody is saying I need more of integrations, then put the integration things at the top. When you write about your own summary, say that yeah, I have worked on integrations. I've created EIBs. I have worked on inbound and outbound EIBs. I have worked on reports and calculated fields. If you're not confident about code connectors, you know about code connectors. You have helped test code connectors. Things like this. Put these things at the top. If somebody is asking for, let's say, code HCM, then put the code HCM concepts near the top of your ratio. Okay, so modify your resume for each position or each job that you are going to apply for. Okay, take that extra effort. Because if you say, okay, I have one prepared, let's say 2 months ago, I'll just forward it. If you are lethargic, if you are not enthusiastic about that position, then they would not be. Okay, right? So, if I look at the questions that they typically ask, they will typically ask about, okay, tell us something about yourself. That is the first question and the most important question in any interview. Okay, especially if you are interviewing in the US. So they will ask you about, tell us something about yourself. That is where you need to show two things. One, you need to control. What are the next few questions? And then you need to show about yourself how enthusiastic you are, how willing to learn you are. Okay, so tell them about an incident in your current organization where there was a need for someone to learn something quickly. Right. So you would say that, okay, I was working as an external consultant, and then there was this requirement that came up that we had a merger and acquisition, and we had to onboard. We had to hire around, let's say, 120 employees. So then our organization had not done it before. So the users were looking for ways to how to quickly load the data for all those 120 employees. So then they reached out to me, and I stepped up and I said that, yeah, maybe we can explore an inbound EIB for that. So I learned about EIBs. I tested it out in our sandbox environment, in our implementation environment, and then got to a point where it was working. We got the data, we loaded it into the Workday system, and we tested it in sandbox. It worked well. And then we did it in production. It saved us a lot of effort, it saved us a lot of time, and it was also a good learning experience for me. Right. If you say something like this, then the other person is bound to be impressed. Right. So here you did multiple things at one in one go. First, you showed that you know about EIB. Second thing, you showed that you learned something new. Third thing, you stepped up when your team was in trouble. Fourth is, you are a self-learner. Right, you learned something on your own. These are some of the attributes which the companies value a lot. It's not about only whether you know all your Workday screens or not. I mean, that is secondary, that a lot of people know. But these attitudes, These approaches is what will actually help you land a job. Right, okay. And of course, these basic type of questions. How many Workday updates are released for here? So 2 major updates. Okay. One in March, other in September. So clients get a month in advance to test their environment against the new update and report any issues back to Workday. Okay. So what are some of the modules? You know that. Seen some post-production and pre-production worked attendance. Here is something. So how is Workday reporting different to SQL ERP? Here we have something. And then what are some ways to access the Workday standard delivered report? Right. So here are a few things that you can go through. You don't have to memorize this. Right, but it is good to know. You may do this. You may keep this handy in front of you whenever you are doing an interview, but don't always continuously look at these things. Right. Yeah. So you see, here it talks about calculated fields. It talks about reports, sharing the reports out. This is a very important question. If you share a report versus share the report output. Right, so this is a very important question. This is definitely going to be asked, because reporting is something that is common across HCM, functional as well as integrations. Okay. So if you share a report, then the output will depend based on the security of the person who is running the report. Right. The security memberships of that. But if you share the report output, then it will be based on your access. Right. The person who ran the report. It will be based on your access. Right. The two things are different. So you will talk about this when you mention about report and report sharing. Then calculated fields. Calculated fields again are something that is common for both functional as well as technical consultants. But they will ask you, can you give us some examples of some of the calculated fields you have worked with? Right. Just mention the ones that we have worked on in the class. You'll see I worked with date functions, increment, decrement date. I have done true, false conditions. I have done an LRB and then ESI, extract single instance, and look up relative value. So there was this requirement where you had to come up with the age of the eldest child, because you are working on a benefit enrollment plan. Right, they're looking for the age of the eldest child. So then you did an extract single instance where you used the true false. But you use the condition like the dependent is child. That is the condition you checked. And then you sorted them. Sorted descending, and you selected the first occurrence. That was the eldest child. Right. And then you used a lookup related value, and you found out the age of the eldest child. Things like this. So whatever we have done in class, just go through the examples that I have given, go through the situations that we have talked about. And that should be enough to get you to get through the interviews, because we people have done it. People have used those sessions, and they've actually managed to get a job right. Then how do you edit the business process definition? What will happen if? What will happen if the business process events are already running? So you know that? What is the search prefix? Okay. And then what is the start proxy? They'll ask you, can you have start proxy in production? What is the answer? Can you have start?
Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us at sales@therateuptalk.com.